Hi, David O'Sullivan here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review for the 2016 award season. So basically I'm going to be looking at all the films that are up for nominations, but mainly the main contenders, so the ones that are the front runners as far as nominations are concerned, looking at the ones that are up for the most nominations. However, saying that, a lot of these films I've already talked about, whether that be in individual reviews or in my best films of 2015 video. If you want to know my thoughts on a lot of the films that are up for awards, such as Bridge of Spies, Steve Jobs, The Revenant, and those kind of films, The Martian, Star Wars, make sure to check out my Best Films of 2015 video where I talk about all of those films. Ex Machina as well. But in this video I'm going to be talking about the ones that I haven't yet talked about. Room, The Big Short and Spotlight. Over the past few weeks I've been trying to catch up on all the awards films, and I've seen those three now, so I'll be able to talk about them. Before I saw those three, my favourites were probably, I think The Revenant was probably my favourite as far as the awards films, as far as the ones that were up for the most awards. However, I also really like Bridge of Spies, Steve Jobs, Ex Machina, Sicario. I like all the films really, which is good. And I like the fact there's lots of really different films up for awards this year. Usually it's always the same kind of films, you know, it was all kind of like dramas, all kind of true story films or whatever, but this year there seems to be a really wide variety across both the BAFTAs and the Oscars of all different kind of films that are up for nominations, and I really like that. There seems to be a nice variety there as far as the different kinds of films that are up for nominations. Like you've even got Mad Max and Star Wars up there as well, so I couldn't be happy about that. But there's three films that I have now seen: Room, The Big Short and Spotlight. Yeah, let's talk about them. So, Room, yes. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I don't think it was as amazing as a lot of people are making it out. I mean, it was really well done. I don't really have any major criticisms about it, but yeah, I think the first half of the film was fantastic. I think the best thing about the film was probably the performances by the two leading actors. So Brie Larson there as the mum, and Jacob Tremblay there as Jack, the little boy. I think they were both fantastic, and it was a really character-driven film. It was really just those two. The first half of the film, anyway, it was just those two, and they really drove the film forward. If they hadn't been good actors and their performances weren't that good, the film wouldn't have worked at all. It would have really fallen flat and just wouldn't have worked. But they were so great. I really think Brie Larson's up for a shot of winning the Best Actress there. I haven't yet seen Carol and Brooklyn. They're the only two I haven't seen. And of course we've got Cate Blanchett and Saoirse Ronan up for that as well. So I can't really compare it to those two performances because I haven't seen those two films yet. But as far as Room is concerned, I really think Brie Larson's up for a shot for winning Best Actress because she was really good, as well as Jacob Tremblay, the child actor as well. Just one of the best performances by a child actor I've ever seen. It was so good. It was so convincing as well. You didn't think for one second you were watching an actor. You think you were watching. It was really realistic in that way. It felt like you were watching a real mum and son and a real relationship between those two play out, and that's what I thought was so good about the first half of the film. Even though it was just those two on their own in this room, it was really kind of engaging to watch, and I think the first half of the film was definitely the best part of the film that way. Like it never got boring. You think it would just be those two in that room that it would get boring, and but it didn't. It was really well done, really well acted, really well filmed. However, my criticism of the film comes with the second half. The second half was not bad, but it was really kind of exciting and suspenseful and tense, the whole escape. But as soon as they got back to their normal lives, it just became a little quite boring. It just became a little bland and dull, and a little kind of, it seemed to just drag then. I don't know what, because you think it would be the other way around. You think when they were in the room it would be dull and boring, and when they got out it would be more exciting, but it was kind of the other way around. I think the first half was much stronger, but the second half was a little, like I say, it was a little dull, it was a little bland, it was a little boring. Nothing seemed to be really happening, and it didn't really seem to go anywhere. And I can't really remember how the film ended, but like I said, the second half wasn't bad. I just think the first half was much better because in terms of how it was filmed as well, because the cinematography was great in that first half of the film. Well, the whole film really, but especially the first half, because you'd be tricked into thinking it was a small house they were in, and then when they go back to the room later on in the film, you realise it's just this one small little room, and you realise how extraordinary it was. The cinematography at the beginning of the film, how genius it was, and that it made it look so big, because I think that is one of the best things about the film. Probably my biggest positive I can give it is the fact that it was told from the child's perspective, which made it really interesting and unique and different, because it could have been really dull and dark and downbeat and depressing. But because it was told from his perspective, and he's this happy-go-lucky, fun, optimistic, enthusiastic little kid, it was a much happier, more kind of, liberating, life-affirming kind of film, because it was from this optimistic, enthusiastic, positive viewpoint of this child, who that's his life, this is his world, he's only ever known this place, and this is like a whole world to him, and how we saw it from his perspective and his viewpoint on it all. It was really nice, and that was probably my favourite part about the film. It wasn't all dark and depressing and exploitative like it could have been, but because it was told from the child's perspective, it was much more enjoyable to watch in that way. And like I said, how it was shot, it made it look, like bigger than it actually was, because when we come back to it later in the film, we realise how small it actually is, when their viewpoints have changed and they've come out in the world now and they're going back, and it's like, but yeah. So yeah, I think it's up for a shot of winning Best Adapted Screenplay, because it was actually written by the woman who wrote the book, which is really interesting, because that hardly ever happens. Usually it's someone else takes the book and adapts it for the big screen, but in this case, the writer of the book actually wrote the film adaptation as well, which was, doesn't really usually happen that often, so I think she really deserves praise, because that's quite a hard thing to do, and she did it really well, because the film was really well done, and I haven't read the book, but I'm guessing it was a really good adaptation. And of course the direction there as well by Lenny Abramson, I think it is. Of course, how it was all shot, I think it might be up for a shot of winning Best Director, I don't know, maybe. And of course, Brie Larson for Best Lead Actress. So yeah, that was Room. On to the next film, it's The Big Short. Now, a very different kind of film. It's a story about, it's like a comedy drama essentially about the global financial crisis that went down, and I did know about it, vaguely know about it, but I didn't really know exactly what happened, and I didn't know about the details of all these different people and what they did during it. That some people actually predicted it was going to happen and actually profited from it. But yeah, I did like The Big Short. I didn't think it was as good as the other awards films, but I did still think it was good. I think Adam McKay did a really good job, because obviously he's mostly known for doing Anchorman and kind of comedy stuff. And The Big Short did have comedy in there, which was one of the things I liked about it. It was refreshing in that way, because it didn't take itself too seriously. It was funny and light-hearted, and it took the mick out of itself at certain points and kind of made jokes and flippant remarks, and it made it more, fun and entertaining to watch in that way, because if we didn't have the humour there, it probably would have been really boring. But probably the biggest positive I can give the film was the performances. I really like Christian Bale in this film. I think he's up for a shot for winning Best Actor. I don't know if he will or not, because it's quite tough competition, but I really liked him in the film. He's probably my favourite character in the film. Of course, he was based on the real guy who he predicted it was going to happen years before it did, and then managed to make loads of money off it, because everyone thought he was crazy, betting against it all, and it turns out he ended up getting billions in the end or something. But yeah, just the kind of guy he was, he just he was on his own, he didn't really didn't really care about anybody else, and he was just on his own in his office with his no shoes on and his t-shirt and playing the drums, listening to heavy metal music. Yeah, I really liked his character, and I think he did a really good performance. And of course, Steve Carell as well, giving another dramatic performance. Because obviously, Foxcatcher last year, I think he's trying to distance himself from the stupid kind of comedy stuff and doing more kind of serious, dramatic stuff. Obviously, it is still a comedy kind of film, but yeah, I think he was really good as well. All the other cast I thought were good as well. Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, but yeah, Christian Bale was probably my favourite. In terms of the film as a whole, I have some little issues with it. I think the direction wasn't as, smoothly handled. I did like the whole kind of unique, distinctive style it had to it. It was its own thing. It wasn't trying to copy anything else. It was doing a unique thing there. It was documentarian in a way, but then of course you had the characters breaking the fourth wall and just talking to the camera. We had celebrity cameos, so it was it was good in that way, because it was quite subversive and different. It wasn't conforming to any kind of generic conventions. It was messing with the formula in a sense, and in that way it was fun to watch. Sometimes it really worked and it was really funny. Other times it got a bit annoying and it was like, okay, you can stop doing that now. But, overall I did like the film. I didn't dislike it, I thought it was good. I don't think it's, one of the best awards films. I'm not really sure why it's gotten like best film and best director. I did think it was a good film, but I don't really see why people are seeing it as a best picture and best director contender. I don't know, maybe, but again, I did like it. I don't know if it's got a shot of for winning the major awards, but anyway, there we go. That was what I thought about The Big Short. So on to the third and final film that I've seen recently, and that's Spotlight. Okay, straight off, Spotlight's definitely my favourite. I'll put it straight out there. I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as I did. I heard so many good things about it, so I knew it was going to be good. But I didn't think it would be as good as it was, because I was hearing really good things about it, and I was like, is it really that good? How could it be that good? Because, again, another film that's mainly just dialogue sequences. It's just really dialogue heavy, character driven film. So it's mainly just you following these people and them investigating into this whole scandal with the priests and the lawyers, and then you're finding out them, delving deeper into it, discovering these shocking things, and then trying to get the story out there. Yeah, I think Spotlight, from all the awards films I've seen, I think Spotlight is definitely the best. It was really good. It was so well done. I think a really important film as well, really quite powerful and quite thought-provoking. You watch the film, and as it goes on, you learn these more shocking, surprising details. You're like, oh my God, did these things actually happen, and were actually covered up by people, and we're actually, but it makes you realise how, amazing these people were, that they really trying their best to try and get these details, to try and get the story out there, and because of them and what they did, the story got out there and people found out about it. Obviously, stuff's been done about what happened. I don't want to talk too explicitly about what actually happens and what actually went down in the film, just because I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it was a really well handled film. I think the direction was really good. I think it's up for a shot of winning Best Director by Tom McCarthy there. I was worried that it might get boring because it's all dialogue sequences. I was worried that it could really drag and be really slow moving, not boring, but it wasn't. I think what I liked most about the film was the pacing. For a lot of dialogue heavy films, they can even if they're really good films, they can drag and seem quite slow. But Spotlight, I think it was paced really well. It was really quite fast moving. It had a really nice movement to it. It was constantly moving. It never stayed in one place and dragged on too long. It was constantly moving along in the story there. It had a nice, pace and movement and rhythm to it. You never, so it was quite easy to watch in that way. Obviously, the subject matter, it was quite difficult and uncomfortable to watch in that respect, but as far as the pacing and the movement of the film, I really liked that. It didn't, drag and get dull and boring. It was constantly moving and quite easy to watch in that way. So yeah, I think it's up for a shot of winning Best Director, and of course the performances as well. One of the best things about this film are the performances. It's probably one of the best performances by an ensemble cast I think I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of really good ensemble cast performances. I mean, Birdman was really good, but Spotlight, oh my God, all of them. So many great actors in there, and they were all so good. I think it's quite unfair in a way that we just get Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, because we've got Mark Ruffalo up there, the Best Supporting Actor, and I really think he's in for a shot of winning that, because he was so good. There's one particular scene where he has a kind of outburst, and you probably know what it is if you've seen the trailers. But at that point, it just really hit me, and it was really powerful, and I was like, surely he's going to win Best Supporting Actor. I mean, there's some really tough competition there from the likes of Mark Rylance, Sylvester Stallone, Tom Hardy. So I'm not sure if he will, but I think he should, because I think he was really good. But like I said, it's a really tough one, that one, Supporting Actor. There's so many good ones up for that. But yeah, all the cast. We had Michael Keaton there. We had Rachel McAdams. We had John Slattery. We had Liev Schreiber. Mark Ruffalo. There was such a great cast. Stanley Tucci in there as well. It was just incredible. Everyone was just so good. And even though these are quite famous, well-known actors, they were so good in their roles, in their respective roles in the film, that you didn't see them as they. Sure, you do know who they are because you recognise their faces, but they were so good as their characters. You really believed like you were watching a real kind of like, watching, real events, because it was so well done and it felt so realistic. It didn't feel for 1 second like you were watching a dramatised account of a true story. It felt like you were watching a documentary in that way. Like, it felt so real. The performances were all so good, all round. Like I said, there should really be a Best Ensemble Cast Award, because the cast, everyone was so good. But yeah, I think all in all, Spotlight is definitely my favourite of the awards films, and I think it's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely the best one. It's not actually up for that many BAFTAs. I think it's up for more Oscars, but yeah, I won't be surprised if it wins a lot of awards, and I think it deserves to win a lot of awards as well. So there we go. That's what I thought about Spotlight. Also, another thing, I don't really want to talk about this, but it's become such a big thing over the awards season that it wouldn't make any sense for me not to mention it, and that's the whole Oscarssowhite kind of diversity, kind of controversy, scandal thing going on. Yeah, I kind of see where everyone's coming from, because there aren't any black actors or Latino or Asian or whatever actors or people or films or whatever nominated, and haven't been for the past 2 years. And I really think David Oyelowo should have been nominated for Martin Luther King last year, but because he was spectacular in that. But again, if you look at some of the films starring actors of other races, so like Will Smith and Concussion, and that, I haven't seen Concussion, but apparently it's not that great a film. Maybe the reason that there aren't any black actors, or any actors of any other races up for awards, maybe just because those films weren't as good. So I really don't think the anger here should be over the fact that, black actors aren't nominated. The anger should be over the fact that there aren't as many good films out there starring black actors. Because if you look at it, all the good films don't have any, actors of other ethnicities there. So I really think, the outrage should be at the fact that, at the film industry, and the fact that there should be more films with non-white actors, in there. That's how I see it anyway, because there were films starring other actors like Will Smith, but maybe just because those films weren't good enough, they weren't in for a shot of getting nominated. But if, there were better films out there with black actors in there, they might have been nominated. So that's how I see it anyway. I don't know. And also, it's not as if like black actors have never been nominated, never won. They have been nominated in the past and have won, like, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, so it's not as if like they have no black actor has ever been nominated or ever won. It's just the past year or so it hasn't, and maybe that's just because the films that are coming out starring black actors haven't been as good. So, but, that's how I see it anyway. Also, if you look at the BAFTAs, there are actors of other ethnicities nominated. We have Idris Elba up there is nominated in the BAFTAs, and Benicio del Toro, which I'm really happy about, because of course Benicio del Toro isn't nominated for an Oscar, but he is nominated for a BAFTA, and like I said, the same with Idris Elba. So I think I prefer the BAFTAs in that way, because the BAFTAs there's a little bit more diversity and a little bit more kind of other things are nominated that aren't in the Oscars. Like, there were some snubs in the Oscars. I didn't realise at the time when I did my live reactions video, but Ridley Scott wasn't nominated for Best Director, which I thought was odd, seeing as The Martian was nominated for Best Film. But in the BAFTAs, he is nominated for Best Director, and like I said, even though Benicio del Toro isn't nominated for an Oscar, he is for a BAFTA. So even though there were some snubs in the Oscars, they kind of were nominated for BAFTAs. So in that way, I'm not that angry. It's not as if they were snubbed from both. And also with Ex Machina, it's not up for that many Oscars as far as like the major awards, but with the BAFTAs it is up for Outstanding British Film and Outstanding Debut by a British Writer or Director. And with Alicia Vikander, in the Oscars she's up for Best Supporting Actress for The Danish Girl, which is a little weird because she's kind of leading actress in that, but they decided to put her in the supporting actress category instead, but didn't put her up for Ex Machina. But in the BAFTAs, she's up for leading actress for The Danish Girl and supporting actress for Ex Machina, which I really like. I think that's what it should be, but obviously with the Oscars, kind of like too afraid to put her up next to the contenders for Best Actress, so they put her into supporting instead. But I like the BAFTAs better because they put her up for both the Danish Girl and Ex Machina there, so for leading for the Danish Girl and supporting for Ex Machina, which I think makes sense. As far as predictions, who I think will win, I don't really know who's going to win, but who I'd like to win, looking at the BAFTAs first, we got for the nominations for Best Film are Bridge of Spies, Carol, The Revenant, The Big Short and Spotlight. I think the ones that I've got the biggest chance of winning are either Spotlight and The Revenant. I think they're the two best in my opinion. I did really like Bridge of Spies as well, don't get me wrong, and I think Big Short was good. I haven't seen Carol, so I can't say anything about that, but I think Spotlight or The Revenant, I don't really know which one it will be. It might not be either of those two, but I think those two I'd like to see win. In terms of the Oscars, for Best Picture, it's The Big Short, Brooklyn, Bridge of Spies, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room and Spotlight. So obviously got more nominations there. And of course we've got Room in there as well. Brooklyn, which isn't nominated for BAFTA. Well, it's nominated for Best British Film for BAFTAs, but not Best Film. But it is nominated for Best Picture. And also Mad Max and The Martian as well. Room as well. This is a hard one because they're all really good films and they're all really quite different films as well. So I'm not too sure. Again, I would say it's probably between Revenant and Spotlight, but of course Room's probably got a shot of winning as well. Brooklyn maybe as well. I haven't seen that, but I've heard really good things about it. And then Mad Max, Fury Road and The Martian, I don't think I've got a chance of winning. They may, I don't know, seeing as they made the shortlist and got nominated for Best Picture, they might have a chance of winning. I don't know what's going to happen, but like I said, they're all really quite different. I'm assuming it would be either The Revenant, Room or Spotlight, or maybe Brooklyn. It could go with either of them, I'm not too sure. But as far as acting is concerned, we've got Leonardo DiCaprio up there for The Revenant, Matt Damon up there for both BAFTAs and Oscars as well, same with Leonardo DiCaprio. Christian Bale is nominated for Supporting Actor, Mark Ruffalo is nominated for Supporting Actor, both Eddie Redmayne and Alicia Vikander are nominated as well. Alicia Vikander nominated for 2, for BAFTAs anyway. The Oscars got Bryan Cranston. I haven't seen Trumbo, but yeah. And of course Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael Fassbender, which I'm really happy about. He is nominated for BAFTAs, I don't think. But for the Oscars he is nominated Best Actor for Steve Jobs. I don't know if he'll win it. Although saying that, I think it'll probably be between Leonardo DiCaprio and Michael Fassbender. I hope Leonardo DiCaprio wins. I think he should win. I think it's been long enough now. I think he should have won for The Wolf of Wall Street. So if he doesn't win for The Revenant, it just won't make sense. I mean, the things he put himself through doing that film, you know, what he did. If he doesn't win for this film, I really don't know what he's going to have to do to get the Oscar, because it just wouldn't make sense if he doesn't win. However, if he does lose out again, then I'd like Michael Fassbender to win, because he's just one of my favourite actors and I think he did a great job in Steve Jobs. But yeah, I think it should be Leonardo DiCaprio. It just wouldn't make sense if it wasn't him. Actress for the Oscars, we've got Kate Blanchett, Brie Larson, Jennifer Lawrence, Charlotte Rampling, Saoirse Ronan. This is a hard one because a lot of these ones I haven't seen. I haven't seen Carol, Brooklyn, Joy or 45 Years. I have seen Room though, and Brie Larson was terrific in that, so I think she should win. Although, saying that, I don't know about the others. Although my mum and sister did see Brooklyn, and they said that was really good, and that Saoirse Ronan was really good in it, so maybe she's got a chance of winning as well. But then Kate Blanchett's up there as well, Jennifer Lawrence again, Charlotte Rampling, okay. And then an actor in a supporting role, okay, so supporting actor, Christian Bale, Tom Hardy, Mark Ruffalo, Mark Ryan and Sylvester Stallone. I think in my opinion this is going to be the hardest one. It's really tough, they're all so good, all quite different roles as well, all really good performances. I think this is going to be really hard. I would find it really hard to pick one from this, because as soon as I saw Bridge of Spies I was like, Mark Ryan, it's winning supporting actor, definitely. Then as soon as I saw Creed, I was like, oh, Sylvester Stallone, best supporting actor, come on. Then as soon as I saw The Revenant, oh, Tom Hardy, best supporting actor. And then I saw Spotlight and then Mark Ruffalo, oh, he's got to win best supporting actor. So honestly, this is a really tough one for me. I really don't know who's going to win. I would say it's probably between Mark Ruffalo and Mark Rylance, I would say. But again, it could go to either of them and I'll be happy because I think they were all so good. Actress in a supporting role, Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara, Rachel McAdams, Alicia Vikander, Kate Winslet. This is another tough one. I've seen all of these apart from Rooney Mara and Carol. Again, all different, really quite different roles and all really quite different films, so again, another tough one. I'd say it was between Kate Winslet and Rooney Mara, although, like I said, I haven't seen Rooney Mara and Carol, but I thought she's supposed to be really good. But again, Alicia Vikander, Rachel McAdams, Jennifer Jason Leigh, they were all really good as well. For BAFTAs, yeah, I would like to see Alicia Vikander win Best Supporting for Ex Machina, because I really wanted to be nominated for that, and she has for the BAFTAs. I'm not sure if she will or not, but I would like to see her win for Ex Machina. I would like to see Ex Machina win some awards, because I'm a huge fan of sci-fi, and it's a sci-fi, but it's an independent British film as well, so I really think it deserves recognition. And hopefully Mad Max and Star Wars will win lots of the technical awards. I don't know if they've got a shot of winning any of the major awards. They may do, I don't know. They may surprise us and win. But, yeah. There we go, that just about wraps up my review of the 2016 awards season. We've got the award ceremonies coming up now toward the end of February, late February. We've got the BAFTAs first, and then the Oscars. So, yes, I've seen pretty much all the films now, apart from, like I say, Carol and Brooklyn. But I'm really quite pleasantly surprised by all of the awards films. There wasn't any that I saw that were just a complete bore fest. You know, they were all really good. I think Spotlight is probably the best in my opinion, and I think should probably win the most awards. I don't know if it will or not. Obviously there's other really good ones in there as well, like Room, Bridge of Spies, and of course we've got the action movies as well, like Star Wars, like The Martian, that probably got a chance of winning as well. But yeah, I don't know, let's see what happens when it comes to the ceremonies. So, there we go, that was my review of the award season. If you like this video, make sure to click subscribe to see more. But for now, I've been David O'Sullivan. I'll see you next time.